Fourways has another 8 to 10 billion shillings to do, which we are going to do phase 3 and 4. We have Loanview on Mombasa Road, which is funded by Cooperative Bank. It's another 300 houses. Cooperative is funding us about 600 million. We have just finished phase 1 of that. So currently the ones we are on site with, we have another project called Sukasa on Mombasa Road, again funded by Cooperative for 800 million, which is $1 billion plus. It's 1,000 houses of low cost. We have another one on Bagathi Road called Links, which is being funded by INM, which is 200 units, again low-end starter homes. We have Riverside, which we're about to launch, which is being funded by INM, 850, which is a 2 billion shilling construction project. We have our office park we're about to launch on Spring Valley, which is, has a 4-star hotel as well. Again, it's funded by Cooperative for about 8 or 900 million. It's another 1.2, 1.5 billion. So currently, we have underfunding projects worth 5 billion shillings being funded by banks. And we have projects in total of close to, under construction cost, I would say heading towards 15 billion shillings. And that's in a space of 5-6 years. So that's where we are today.
This is the first time we're going to have a new president. In fact, a new government, even if we include incumbents returning to power from '92. That we have the president beginning his administration with an economy that's going to do 6% growth rate. You know what it was in 2002? 0.4%. What did we do in 2008? Because of our misbehavior, 1.6%. In each of those years, even in this last few years where we've had, where we had post-election violence, which really spooked a lot of investors, we moved from 1.6 to 5.5% to 5.6%. 2002, 0.42, 7.1%. But we've never been in a position where, at the very beginning, ground zero, the zero level is 6%. So that's my point number one, that you're going to see an economy whose ground zero is 6%. So what do you think it will be in 2015, 2016, 2017? We're going to get to levels we've never reached before. And I think it's important to understand that even though when we look at the horizon, a lot of times we see all the difficulties, you've got to see that we're transforming this country and it's happening. This is the first election where actually investors didn't run away, even given what happened in 2007 and 8. ABC, I think it's an excellent, your timing was perfect. I think you anticipated the 6%. Ground zero. We're very keen to make sure it's 10% in the next 3 years. There's no reason why now we should not get to 10% finally. And that 10% will not be Thika Highway. Let me repeat that. That's an enabler. And we have many plans, and I should say this. Under Vision 2030, we've got very many plans, and see I'm getting the hook, in terms of modernizing infrastructure and expanding infrastructure, highways in major cities like Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, commuter rails. There are fundamental reforms in policy, capital markets, major fundamental reforms in capital markets to give more people access to funds to be able to support your businesses, right? So in the case of real estate investment trusts, right, coming up, we have many. We have GEMS, an alternative market segment for small businesses that may not be able yet to adhere to very stringent conditions for going to the main market segment at the NSE, because that's an avenue for you to raise funds. So all this is going to happen. So policy reform, regulatory reform, in agriculture, the collapsing of 131 acts of parliament into 5 acts of parliament for an easily navigable regulatory or legal framework for anybody who wants to do value addition in agriculture. The question is, are you willing to dare to pursue your dreams? And then of course, once you've said you want to pursue your dreams, you've got to remember that dreams need some thinking, some real hard work. Somebody said failure is not an option. I would say failure isn't an option, yes, but also the second thing we must also learn is that failure is okay sometimes, as long as it is in the end. And I know we have a society that has actually really stigmatized failure. What we should stigmatize is giving up. Giving up is now what is really not acceptable and not an option. But falling down and then learning from that experience in your next venture, that's how America grew. Some of the greatest Americans failed several times. What they never did was give up. Plus also, when they went to the next venture, they didn't know what to do sometimes. They didn't repeat the same mistakes. You keep knocking at this wall, it doesn't move, and you keep knocking at it. Change. Your consumers need global standards. If you do that, guess what? Your services or your products will work anywhere in the world because of standards. But don't shortchange Kenyans just because you think, these are Kenyans. They can get poor packaging, poor services. You can tell them 1 week and then do it in 3 weeks. That has to go. Secondly, the local expertise, that's what will give you an edge over all these guys who are coming. By the way, they're going to be stampeding into Kenya as soon as the swearing-in ceremony is done. They'll be stampeding these investors. Why should they come and be able to do stuff in an environment you understand better than they do? And it's not a zero-sum game. Let's drop the scarcity mentality. You can work with them. But if you don't have the local standard, the local knowledge that you leverage to get the global standards, then you have no value to them and you lose out. I actually think that if you do that, the next 5 years especially are going to be tremendous for this country. And you're just positioned at the right time, at the right place, with the right mindset to help this country grow to 10%. Thank you all very much.